Assalamu alaikum. I am Iram Manan from Army Public School and College Zamzama. It's a video tutorial for class 8. Week number is 13 while the subject is history. The name of the textbook is Window to World History. The pages which we'll discuss today, they are page 79 and 80. The chapter number is 6 and the name of the lesson is Quest for Pakistan, Political Settlement. Resources required are textbook, internet, laptop and notebooks. And students, today in this lesson we will discuss about the Simon Commission 1927, the Nehru Report 1928 and finally the 14 points of Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah. Okay students, it's the time to find out the answers of some of the questions. My first question is, what was the other name of the Indian Consul Act 1909? We have discussed this earlier. The other name of the Indian Consul Act 1909 was the Minto-Morley reforms, because these reforms were made by Lord Minto and John Morley, and these reforms were important for the Muslims because under the reforms of Minto and Morley, the demand of the separate electorates of the Muslims were finally accepted and the Muslims were granted the separate electorates. The second question is, what was the first political settlement between the Congress and the Muslim League? The first political settlement between the Congress and the Muslim League was the Lucknow Pact of 1916. So we have also discussed about the Lucknow Pact of 1916 in the previous topic. Hopefully you have watched my previous tutorial. So under the Lucknow Pact, the Congress accepted the demand of the separate electorates for the Muslims, and Gandhi also decided to unite with the Muslims for the restoration of the Khilafat in the Ottoman Empire, and as well as the Gandhi also started the non-cooperation movement. The next question is, what is diarchy? It's a very important term. What is diarchy? Diarchy basically means a form of government where power is shared between two joint authorities. Here actually we are talking about the British and the Indians. Students, hopefully at the end of the topic you would be able to evaluate the reasons behind the failure of the Simon Commission, analyze the main terms of the Nehru Report by Motilal Nehru, and finally list the 14 points of Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah. Let's find out the background of the Simon Commission. Simon Commission was the continuation of the Government of India Act 1919. The Government of India Act 1919 was also called as the Montagu and Chelmsford reforms because they were made by, or these constitutional reforms were made by Lord Chelmsford and Edwin Montagu in 1919. So that's the reason they were also called as the Montagu and Chelmsford reforms. Under these reforms, the system of diarchy was introduced at the provincial level in India, which meant that at the provincial level, the power was divided between the British and the Indians, but still at the center or at the federal level, the power was kept by the British. Under the section 84A of the Montagu and Chelmsford reforms, a commission would be appointed in 1929. So the problem here was that the commission was appointed in 1927 instead of 1929. So why the commission was appointed before time? Let's find out some of the reasons. There were two important reasons. Number one, the Indian public and the leaders, they wanted a reform in the government, or we can say that they wanted to make the changes in the government policies. And the second was the fear of the Conservative Party. At that time, there were two important political parties in the Britain, the Conservative Party and the Labour Party. The Conservative Party feared a defeat at the hands of the Labour Party. They wanted to make the constitutional reforms in India before the elections of 1927 because they thought that they could lose the elections. So that's the reason the Simon Commission was the Simon Commission was appointed in 1927 instead of 1929. In November 1927, a commission headed by Sir John Simon was sent to the subcontinent by Lord Birkenhead, the Secretary of State for India, to investigate the constitutional problems in British India. That's a picture of Sir John Simon. The Simon Commission was composed entirely of British members, with not a single Indian member being included. So that was the biggest flaw of the Simon Commission, that there were 7 members and all the members, they were the British members. The Simon Commission was headed by Sir John Simon. The other members were Viscount Burnham, Donald, Howard, Edward, Cadogan, Vernon, Hartshorne, Richard, Lane Fox, and the Clement Attlee. Like we have discussed earlier, that at the time of introducing the Montagu and the Chelmsford reforms in 1919, the British government declared that a commission would be sent to India after 10 years to examine the effects and operation of the constitutional reforms and to suggest more reforms for India. But the problem here was that all the 7 members of the commission were the British parliamentarians. So on the arrival in India, the Simon Commission was greeted by a mass demonstration with the black flags and jeering the slogan of Simon, go back. It was same wherever they went, be it Bombay, Calcutta, Delhi, Lahore, Lucknow or Madras. The people, they were chanting the slogan, that is Simon, go back. And the Protestants, they were waving the black flags. The reaction of the Congress was that the Congress completely boycotted the Simon Commission. The Muslim League also rejected the Simon Commission. But at that time, again, the Muslim League was divided into 2 parts, like we have discussed earlier, the Shafi League and the Jinnah League. The Jinnah League, headed by Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah, rejected the Simon Commission, while the Shafi League wanted to accept the or support the Simon Commission. The Simon Commission visited the India twice, first on the 3rd of February till 31st of March 1928 and then on 11th October 1928 till 3rd of April 1929. As we have already discussed that Simon Commission was rejected by the Muslim League and the Indian National Congress, but still Simon Commission published its report on the 30th May 1930. Some of the important points of the report were: it abolished the diarchy at the provincial level but introduced at the center, which meant that the provinces would be given the full autonomy. It also instituted the federal system of government in India. Separation of Sindh from the Bombay Presidency would also be examined. So these were some of the important points of the Simon Commission report. After the failure of the Simon Commission, Lord Birkenhead, the Secretary of State for the Indian Affairs, asked both Congress and Muslim League to draw a draft of the forthcoming act which both Hindus and Muslims could agree. As a result, all parties conference was held at Delhi in 1928 and a committee led by Motilal Nehru, that's a picture of the Motilal Nehru, and Tej Bahadur Sapru was formed to draft a future constitution for India. Motilal Nehru presented a report in 1928 which was known as the Nehru Report. The important committee members of the Nehru Report were Tej Bahadur Sapru, Subhash Chandra Bose, Madhav Shihari Ane, Mangal Singh, Sayyid Ali Imam, Sheikh Qureshi and G.R. Pradhan. Let's find out some of the recommendations put forward by the Nehru Report. It demanded dominion status for India in which the princely state and the British India would join in a federation. All power would rest with the federation. That is, the provinces would not be in charge of their own affairs. Elections would be on a joint basis. They rejected the separate electorate, especially for the Muslims. This meant that the Hindus would form a permanent majority within the central government, and in Punjab and Bengal, Muslims would lose their majority. Mr. Jinnah and the Muslim League rejected the Nehru report. To come to a compromise and accept the report, the League proposed the 3 amendments to the Nehru report. The 3 amendments were: in the central legislature, Muslims should be given 33.5% of seats. The residuary power must rest with the provinces and not the centre. The Muslims of Punjab and Bengal should be represented on the basis of population for 10 years at least till a revision is made to this principle. These points were rejected by the Congress, and finally Mr. Jinnah was compelled to call this the parting of the ways for the Muslim League and the Congress. That's a picture of Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah along with Jawaharlal Nehru. In 1929, Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah termed the Nehru Report as a Hindu document and rejected it on behalf of the Muslim League. Mr. Jinnah decided to give an alternative Muslim agenda in the form of the famous 14 points. These were welcomed by all groups of Indian Muslims. The main demands put forward were federal system of government, provincial autonomy, advocate an effective representation of minorities in every province, Muslim representation in the central legislative shall not be less than 1/3, rights of separate electorates for all communal groups, Muslim majority provinces to have defined boundaries, full religious liberty to all communities, no law shall be passed without 3/4 representation of all the communities. The province of Sindh should be separated from Bombay. Reforms in the provinces of Northwest Frontier Province and Balochistan. Muslims should have a decent quota in all government services. Protection of Muslim culture and language. 1/3 Muslim ministries to be allowed in the center and provinces. No change in the constitution to be made without the consent of all communities. These 14 points made it clear that Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah was the true leader and representative of the Muslims of India. It's a time to make a quick recap of whatever we have learned. We have discussed about the Lucknow Pact of 1916. Lucknow Pact was the first political settlement between the Congress and the Muslim League in which the demand for the separate electorates for the Muslim was finally accepted by the Congress. Then we have discussed about the India Act of 1919, which was also called as the Montagu-Chelmsford Reforms, in which the system of diarchy was introduced at the provincial level. Delhi Muslim Proposals of 1927, in which the Muslims withdraw their demand for the separate electorate to reach to the constitutional settlement in India. Simon Commission of 1927. The Simon Commission was sent to the subcontinent to investigate the constitutional problems in British India. Then we have discussed about the Nehru Report of 1928. Motilal Nehru presented a report in 1928 to draft a future constitution for India. We have also discussed about the 14 points of Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah of 1929. Quaid-e-Azam rejected the Nehru report and gave an alternative Muslim agenda in the form of the famous 14 points. Okay students, it's the time for the written work. In the written work, you will write down the answer of question number 1 from the textbook. Page number is 91. Kindly follow all the instructions which are already given. Study the picture from textbook page number 63 also. Thank you.